Ho ho ho! Yes, it's time to totally eschew chronological order and move right into what I got for Christmas bot-wise. So, what did I get? Well, I suppose the first thing to say is something you've already seen me get, and I did the unboxing of my AoE hotshot that it turns out came from Mr. Smuzno. Dave Mentz was very nice and kind and sent me this lovely robot here, and yes, it's proper good. I do like it. Yes, his face still looks like seared flesh, but the rest of this thing is proper nice. I think it comes off feeling a lot better than I thought he would. Looking at things of the crosshairs mould, it just looked like that was a bit limited and odd, and you've got the coat flaps that get in the way and are annoying and blah blah blah. There's nothing wrong with this at all. He's solid, the plastic feels good. You've got lots of hinges on his coat so you can get that going about all over the show, and I haven't got the rubber bits put up in there where they should be, because yeah, that does get in the way and it doesn't limit stuff, and it is really sort of annoying to get them pegged in. And then you've got the risk of the tiny little guns under here falling out, and I lost them about twice on Christmas Day. So I'd rather they just stay in there and never come out ever again. Yes, this should have been tracks. Yes, it was made to be tracks. I don't give a damn, because this actually works rather nicely as a hotshot, I find. He's got the goggles, he's got wheels on the backs of his legs, the feet turn round and go in to make the front of the car, the bumper is on his shoulders. It works as a hotshot. If this was painted yellow and red, then it would be a hell of a lot better. Because I have to say, looking at this, there are a good few bits of detail where I can see it would have been very nice to have that proper Armada hotshot deco on this thing. Because the sort of shape of the chest here, you could get the sort of racing harness picked out there, and it would work. To me, it would be good enough. I would buy this in red and yellow, and I'd love to see someone actually make this red and yellow, just to satisfy that sort of need to see what can be done with the detail on here to make it look like a proper old school hotshot. But that's not to say that the deco you do get isn't nice, because it is nice. It's all gunmetal and this lovely shade of blue and red bits here and there. Although the red bits don't extend to tail lights for the car. But then what's new there, really? I like this gun he comes with. I like the coaty stuff. It doesn't offend me. You can pose it a few different ways. So he's sort of billowing in the wind heroically or whatever. He poses nice. He's solid. Light piping is, well, it's kind of there, but it's totally not really. It's like, it's not denied piping, because there is a see-through thing in the back of his head, but it just doesn't work because it's black. Oh yes, that's a great colour to make things out of if you want them to channel light, isn't it? Yeah, oh, that's going to glow furiously, like the intensity of a billion suns, that is. But the real best bit about this figure is the car mode. Oh, it feels like a very long time since I had such a satisfying, proper, nice car, and it is properly nice. It's a good bit bigger than I thought it was going to be. You sort of feel how small like Lockdown is, or some of the more recent car forms that are deluxe size. It's just like disappointing. There's no heft here. This guy feels like, I don't know, like Revenge of the Fallen kind of size deluxe, a proper size deluxe, a proper nice beefy chunky blue really good looking car, loads of good detail and Corvette badges, and oh, it was really nice. And the only way it could have been made better is if it was metallic blue. Seriously, that's just like, yes, best car mode of, like, I don't know, the year probably. Yeah, Hotshot's a win. There you go. Just to show you, he hasn't got flames on the hood, just in case you were wondering, because there was that one that was at BotCon or something that did have that, and everyone's like, oh, what if mine will have it and it can be properly tracked? No, none of them do, sorry. But I'm very happy with a nice big properly red Autobot symbol on there, even though that is slightly reminiscent of Armada's Sideswipe in that position. But yeah, it's good. I like it, yes. Now, to make sure the majority of this video isn't taken up with me waffling on about a new hotshot, let's find other things to talk about. First off, stuff I got in my stocking, quote unquote. It's just a bin bag full of things that are wrapped up, but it's my stocking. bit of a surprise. Construct bot riders, are they? Little tiny, comes in a plastic bag Bumblebee. I was sort of completely happy to completely ignore the Age of Extinction construct bots. Actually, no. Once it got to this sort of point in time, they've been out for a good long time. And you see the same ones everywhere. Although before I left to come home for Christmas in Bristol, I did find the Slash one and the Scorn one, and they looked mildly interesting, but simply because they were new and they weren't the Grimlock and Strafe ones you see everywhere. But yeah, I was just kind of like, yeah, I'm a Constructbot G1er. I don't really like how they've completely dropped the 5mm system, and having this guy I think kind of justifies that. I would not have bought this for myself. It's nice to have as a surprise, as a gift, but he really isn't any good. It feels bad to say that about something you've been given for Christmas, but he really isn't. He's all rattly and plasticky because the wheels you have to clip in, and the joints are stupidly tight because they're still rubber coated, and it just feels bad. He's all plasticky. There's no paint on anything apart from his face and the top of the car that hangs off his back, and it just feels cheap and boring, and I don't know. It's kind of nice for a little sort of construct-botty thing, and he's reasonably poseable. You know, his legs will do whatever you want, but his arms don't. He hasn't got any elbows, and he holds a gun, and his head can look up and down, which is, I guess, the point of articulation that matters more to me than side to side these days. But it doesn't do anything for me at all, except, you know, look okay when you're standing next to bigger ones. Having a little Bumblebee is okay because Bumblebee should be small and blah blah blah, but I'm totally ambivalent towards this thing. If he'd have been Hound or Lockdown, maybe I'd have liked him better, because it's Bumblebee and he's just cheap yellow plastic and, you know, it's kind of generic-y detail car former man. It's not interesting at all, and I'm kind of sad about that because I would have liked to have really liked him being like the proper surprise present that I had, but he's alright, yeah. And now to something which I probably shouldn't say I gained more satisfaction from than that Bumblebee, because it isn't actually a proper Transformer. I've got a laughable knockoff. Wow, yeah, the camera really doesn't want to pick up on this colour, does it? It's a kind of turquoise and purple Birdman in a kind of, I want to say, nicely Aztec vibe, but it's not nice at all. Look at this, look at that. Oh dear, it's so badly made, but it was 99p from the 99p shop apparently, so I don't know, for £1 maybe it's alright. It's crazy and laughable, and those are the best two things that a KO can be, so it kind of redeems itself almost. Yeah, the head it's weird. It's like a kind of Aztec crest Birdman thing, and you can pull it up too far and there's like a hole under his neck, and his arms move, and the legs are one piece, but they sort of do that, and there are guns that come off for no reason, and the whole thing feels like it's made out of like shampoo bottle plastic, so at least it won't shatter in your grip. It will just sort of bend and deform and go weird. Yeah, this really isn't how you do a Transformer, guys. I've got to show you this properly in a review, because just, it's so terrible. It's so terrible that I quite like it, and I mean, look at that. It's properly like G1, like 1987 Decepticon colours. It's a bit double dealer-ish, I guess. These sort of silver detailed wings, and it turns into a griffin, basically. It turns into what I can only describe as, if you've been on TF Wiki enough to come across the page for that one thing in that one episode of G1, as the giant purple griffin. It looks like that, which is kind of interesting in an odd G1 trivia kind of way, because it's almost like the people who made this looked at something from G1 and thought, that's not been made into a toy, why don't we make a knockoff look like that? I don't think they did that, but I like to think they did that, because this bears a striking resemblance to that thing, and it's totally terrible and horrible, and I love it. Right, now we can get back to properly good stuff, and by properly good stuff I mean Combinable Silverbolt. Oof, yes. I haven't elaborated the fact that I've got Combinables Optimus Prime already. I did that like little 6-second video that I made into a Vine basically, and that was the only sort of proper look you've had at that. Yeah, that's the thing that I need to talk about the most in the next video I do. But Silverbolt, ooh, yes, oh my, yeah, this is properly nice. like a real tangible return to properly nice Transformers. It is chunky, it is solid, it clicks, it poses really nicely. It just feels good. I can't describe it. It feels so good. I mean, Optimus was the one I bought first because he was the one I really wanted first because of all the Energon homageness and everything that I'll talk about later. But Silverbolt was kind of like, I guess I could go for a Superion. Superion is the only combiner that, apart from like Flora Cybertron Bruticus, that I've ever properly sort of gone for. I tried to get the Energon one and couldn't get all the bits for that, and I got the Revenge of the Fallen one. That's like one of the things I'd probably sell first if I was going to sell some stuff. And so I just sort of felt a bit burnt out that Superion was the first combiner we were going to get given from Combiner Wars, because it's like, I've got loads of Superions, don't want another one. But this is going to make a bloody good Superion. This is exactly everything that a new Silverbolt toy needs to be. It takes that ostensibly doofy G1 thing with the massive gold thighs and the birthing hips and the really wide face, and turns it into just a really handsome, chunky, well-defined, properly heroic looking bot, and I really like it. I don't really like aerial bots, they're all the same to me, and Silverbolt is just a bit of a dork really, isn't he? He's a Concorde that's afraid of flying. Why would that make him any good? But it kind of endears him to me now, because this is a really good figure and he just looks effortlessly cool, and I just keep going, giving you statements as to how I think this is really cool and not really finding why it is. I think I like the lower legs here. They're proper big plain chunks, and he's got double knees, and man, the chest, the shape of all this stuff. It's good detail, it's good boxy flat surfaces without looking boring and slavishly G1. This is like, I don't know, it's a proper nice reimagining of Silverbolt without losing the stuff that makes him distinguishable as a bot, you know? His legs look completely different and his arms probably look completely different. He's got the funny wings on his shoulders that are sort of sculpted in, and he's got little tiny nipples here, which are the Superion antennae poking out from under his chest. But he's just sublime, honestly. Like, bring me every single Combiner Wars figure now, because I'm totally sold on this line 100%, and I will just delve into it and completely revel in the beauty that the design team have wrought in these figures, because god, this is good. I don't even care you've got all this plain junk on his back. Yes, so every Silverbolt ever is just, you know, a box with a Concorde stuck on top of, or SR-71 stuck on top, but this feels good, and like, yes, nose cone guff, you know, the entirety of the plane apart from 2 bits here is on his back, and I couldn't give a monkeys because it feels really good, and the plastic is good, and he's solid and chunky. Nice, nice, nice. Now bring me some limbs. One thing to say though, before I stop waffling on about him, looking at his shieldy thing, am I the only person that gets a very strong Scorponok shield vibe from this? Because it's all angular, and you've got a sort of pincery bit in here that's all serrated. I just feel like this should be used for something else down the line, and bullets, and I don't see why a plane would have a shield that looks like Scorponok's, but I don't know, something to point out. Now we move on to some things which are going to upset the camera even more, because it's heavily chromed 2-pack time. Yep, I've got the single chromiest thing in all of creation. Wow, the camera isn't like that, does it? Yes, it's the AoE Optimus and Grimlock 2-pack from Tesco that is just insane in the levels of chrome it has. Look at this truck, just look at that. Everything, it's all chrome all the time, and I love it. I've got to say. Yeah, so, you know, in the past year we've had loads of stuff that's got too much chrome on it, but when you go to this level of chrome, it's not too much, it's just enough. I don't know, it doesn't feel like it's gaudy or tacky, it feels amazing. I mean, if this was on the road, it'd be a massive hazard, because yeah, it would blind you with reflected sunlight, and you'd see other cars in it, and no, you couldn't drive this on the road. But as a truck, it's a beautiful, lovely long truck like this, chrome works. It feels right. It picks out all the rivets, all the detail. It feels like the kind of truck that you should go to America and see at some show. Just sat there, that some dude has spent like a full 24 hours polishing, and yeah, people can just come and gawk at it and look at themselves in it and marvel at its majesty, because I could look at this thing for days, and you put it on a shelf with some lights around it, it's mind-blowingly nice to look at, and it ticks all the sort of aesthetic boxes for me when it comes to trying to take a picture of something and totally failing at that, because you get this reflecting some light nicely and it's like, oh, that looks really good, I should get a picture of that, and then you totally can't, and you're never going to be able to. So it's the kind of thing that you really need to look at in person, and I would totally suggest to anyone out there who hasn't got this to go and get it, simply because it's stupid, it's mental. The level of chrome on this is something we'll never see ever again, so just for that, you've got to have it. And for me, I had to have it because it's that deluxe Dark of the Moon mould that everyone found in Sainsbury's back in the day, and I never saw, and I kind of wanted, and to have it in this kind of mental scheme of just silver and flames, I was sold as soon as I saw this. Yes, yes, yes. And you know, the robot mode is pretty nice. It's a nice, easy transformation that gets you a really, rather nicely accurate movie Optimus, actually. It feels like it's very much based on that one bit of art where it's just from the first film, and it's just a picture of Optimus standing there, sort of arms akimbo, and it feels like they've really taken cues from that, and you can get him into that exact pose from that piece of art. But so yeah, you've got the big front of the truck hanging off his back, but I think it turns out to be just a really nice figure. It's nicely posable, it's all shiny, it's nicely detailed, it's just a nice little movie Optimus Prime, and it comes with a sword that you can't stick anywhere on the truck apart from like there. That's a gripe, but whatever, because he also comes in a box with the shiniest Grimlock ever, and I'm sure everyone can agree that you can just give him the sword and it's all fine. Yeah, I really wanted that set for that Optimus, just because I hadn't got a version of that mould, and seeing it chromed like that was just like, this is too crazy to not pass up. So Grimlock's a bit of a bonus, but I've got to say, he is a pretty darn good one. I wasn't really that crazy about getting another version of the Ford Cybertron Grimlock, but having it done up like this completely redeems it. It's good, man, it's good. This will be my proper classics Grimlock now. It's just shiny and nice and brightly coloured, and it works. It feels a bit better as well, like the joints all feel a little bit better, and the light up thing works better because it doesn't just bleed through the chest where it's slightly translucent plastic. Where you got the chrome, it focuses it, and it's cool. Yes, I like it, but yeah, I wasn't really ready for getting a full repaint of a Voyager figure. I think this is the first one I've ever got. I've got remolds, I've got things with different heads, but I think this is the first just complete repaint of a Voyager figure I've ever got, and it feels a bit extravagant. Something I should point out though, the chrome is a bit weak. It's not very strong gold, it's all kind of just washed out a bit, and then the grey plastic as well feels a little bit washed out, and it is kind of mildly translucent. And I've got to say, because my mate John's got one of these and he's got the new Masterpiece Grimlock, you stand this next to that, the gold is exactly the same as what's on that. The grey plastic is exactly the same as what's on that. This feels very much like a smaller version of that, and it's kind of odd because it's like Hasbro were like, okay, let's just, you know, this is the colour scheme for Grimlock now, and it doesn't feel quite right, you know, it just needs contrast brought up a little bit more on it or something. It's just a little bit weak, you know? And that's something that Grimlock should never be. So now we move into the home stretch to talk about the last thing, which was another bit of a surprise. It's the Megatron and Optimus Construct Book 2-pack that I was sort of looking at for a very long time because it's been cheap for quite a long time, and I thought, you know what, I should pick one of those up if it's only like 15 quid. And it feels a lot better to get it as a Christmas present because this is like probably good Christmas present stuff. It's just a nice big box with 2 construct bots and loads of extra bits. You can just sit and fiddle about with them, and yeah, there's a lot of fun in this box of stuff. I have sort of set them up a bit differently with some of the extra parts and stuff, or I suppose taking away parts when it comes to Megatron. I made him a bit more G1, stuck the tank turret on his arm and given him his, well, baseball bat covered in nails. Doesn't really look much like a mace, it looks, yeah, a lot more like just a baseball bat covered in nails. Properly brutal kind of weapon, and I approve. I also approve of this head sculpt, which could be the best Megatron face I've seen in a very long time. He's got the funny sort of black bits above his eyes, like the odd kind of unibrow thing under the helmet, and he's got a massive grin on his face, looking properly maniacal, and it just works. And why can't other Megatron figures look as gleefully destructive as this one? And you can go and stick wings on him, or make him a tank, or for some reason he's got silver versions of Soundwave's weapons, in the way that Optimus has got slightly metallic green versions of Wheeljack's weapons, which is a bit odd, don't know why they come with those, but yeah, there's loads of extra bits. And with Optimus here, I've made him kind of Armada-y, because I just looked in the box and thought, why has he got gold forearm plates? Which Optimus has gold forearms? And I remembered, my Optimus has gold forearms. So yeah, I made him properly Armada-y, and you know, you can even stick the badge on the roof of the truck. That felt right, and I had to continue and give him exhaust pipe gun things on his arms, and stick wheels on his shoulders, and yeah, this is another rather nice Optimus figure, actually, just as an Optimus Prime. I love the sort of angles of his chest and everything here, even though the grill abs aren't really where his abs should be, are they? I don't know what's going on here. But, I don't know, making that more on the chest is a bit more of an Armada touch, which I approve of, and the head is kind of properly, I don't know, I want to say anime Optimus. It's really like super robot, and I like this. I want to be able to make it super roboty with all the extra parts you get, and I don't know if I can. He comes with swords, he comes with a couple of like booster rockets and loads of see-through orange melee weapons, but I've got to say, when it comes to these two and their extra parts, they don't really give you a lot of ways to attach those extra parts that they give you. You know, it's like you'd need extra struts and stuff to stick wings on Megatron that he hasn't actually got with him. So, I don't know, you've got to be a bit more imaginative and waggle some stuff around in ways that it's quite clear it's not meant to go, because these guys come with parts from other sets, and it's like, okay, I'll try and stick that on there, but I can see it's not meant to go there, kind of thing. But yeah, that's nice, lovely stuff. So now that the rays of the winter sun are cutting into my face, I shall say goodbye and have a happy new year, and I hope you had a very nice lot of stuff for Christmas. I'm very happy with what I got for Christmas, considering, you know, it's like Hot Shot here was pretty much all I was kind of expecting. It feels nice to have a nice little haul of robots, and not one of them you've actually bought for yourself. Because for the past couple of years, the best stuff I've got has been stuff I bought myself that I knew that I wouldn't be able to get otherwise, because no one's going to know how to get it. So yeah, it feels good. It's proper nice spirit of Christmas coming through when you've got a lovely lot of robots and they've all been bought for you by people, rather than you having to go and spend your own money to buy yourself presents, which is always a bit sad, let's face it. So yes, my Christmas haul was lovely, and I hope yours was too. I should probably be back in the new year with a bit of a Generations catch up from stuff from November. So yes, see you then. Have a good 2014, what's left of it, and enjoy 2015. Hootenanny!